Welcome everybody, Star Flag Media Gaming. I am Anthony along with our one and only
What up?
Chris.
What up, man? It's your boy Chris, aka Talents A60.
Check him out on his YouTube. He is posting videos up, giving up his opinion on news, facts, and fiction and all of the above. Anyway, this week we did a little bit of a going back to our roots with our top 10 lists, and we're gonna kind of keep that going for a while here and see if it sticks for the channel. Last week we did the top 10 villains of all times, and I think this week we should. Well, this is your idea.
Bosses,
It was,
bosses.
yeah, top 10 bosses, and then this week we're gonna be doing your idea, which I liked, which was top 10 dead franchises that need to come back. Franchises that just they were a thing and they were popular and then they were gone. And you and I both feel that these should make a comeback. We haven't, as always, we haven't gone and seen each other's lists. We kind of just bring these up as they go along, and we'll see what pops up. You want me to get it started, or should you?
Yeah, let me get it started, man.
Yeah.
Yep, give me 1 second. Let me just see what I got here. All right. This game is true. It's near and dear to me. Um, you know me a long time. I told you I was never really like a big PlayStation fan, right?
Yeah.
Until I switched to the PS3.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, my father had a PlayStation at his house, and there was only one game that I would play that I thought was actually fun.
Okay.
And that game, I hope they need to make a new one. And that game is Twisted Metal.
Oh, yeah.
Twisted Metal. I used to pain. I used to. It would pain myself to say like, wow, I can't wait to go to my dad's house to play Twisted Metal on his PlayStation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
they were working on a live service Twisted Metal game, and that was one of the games that got canceled.
yeah, maybe they just need a game and not a live service game.
I think that if they were gonna do a live service game, that might be the franchise that could pull it off.
Yeah, maybe.
That's that type
Brisbane
of
doing all right.
yeah. That was that type of game, though. You know, you got all these hero shooters and stuff. Like it's basically what Twisted Metal was, but with
Yeah,
cars. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's a great franchise. I could
yeah.
see. You know, that's the irony of canceling like all these other franchises, and like this one is probably the one that a the people love the franchise. B the combat system in the game kind of lends itself to it already. You used to love playing this game with probably your friends on the couch or whatever, like local co-op, and now it's online would make perfect sense for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Twisted Metal is an all-time great. Yeah. Unfortunately, that one's been gone for a while, man.
Been going for a
Uh
long time, man. And I think the TV show got canceled.
oh, that's right. It did get
I know there was
canceled.
a TV show.
I did know because of Samoa Joe being the clown in the show. Samoa Joe being a wrestler. That's the only reason I knew there was a Twisted Metal TV show. But yeah, that's true. Um, I'm gonna go with something that's a little bit in the same era because PS3. Obviously they had Twisted Metals on PS3. And that's probably the last time we saw one. This is also in that same era where the last game in the franchise, the last true game in the franchise, came out on the Xbox 360 and PS3, and that is Dead Space.
Oh wow.
Yeah, those games were.
But then they just remade that.
So this is where I wanted to get on a caveat. Do remakes and remasters count? Because it's the same game.
Yeah, it's not that if they remastered it or remake it.
So I think, to me personally, a remaster is not reviving the franchise. That's just re-releasing the same old game, and they may update the graphics or whatever, but there was no substantial difference in any kind of remasters. So to me, Dead Space is still a franchise that has just been missing in action. There is no true sequel. The last entry into the series was in 2013.
Okay.
Yeah, the last entry into the series and storyline wise was in 2013, and that is over a decade ago. It
Okay.
is time, in my opinion, it is time for them to bring a new sequel out, make a Dead Space 4. This will truly kickstart it. I understand maybe the remaster was a way for them to get funding for it, perhaps, or just an easy cash in. Who knows? Knowing Electronic Arts, probably just a cash in.
All right. All right. So this next one is, I want to say the last game maybe came out 10 or 15 years ago because it's probably been that long.
Mm-hmm.
But the first game came out back in the 80s or the early 90s. And here we go, man. He was my favorite character on Super Smash Brothers Brawl. So
Okay.
we could bring back Kid Icarus.
He
And
was on my list.
let's bring back Kid Icarus game.
Yes, the last one
Not
was on the
3D.
3DS on the 2012.
Yeah, let's make one that's not a rail shooter. Let's give them some type of 3D. Had the people that make Zelda, task them to make a Kid Icarus game. Do that for me. I know
Yeah.
I know it's not gonna happen, but that's what I
Yeah.
would like.
He was on my list as it'll never happen. Especially because they completely made it a third person shooter, and that game, even though that game performed really well, like it sold a lot of copies on 3DS, and then Nintendo was just like, okay, well, see you guys in 20 freaking years again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Kid Icarus was on my list, so let me get that one off of there and move on to the next one here on my list, which is in the same veins of we saw a resurgence for this during the Wii era, and that was the last time we got a game in the series, and that is Punch Out.
Oh yeah, I remember Punch Out.
Yeah, so Mike Tyson's Punch Out came out on the NES. There was an arcade version of Punch Out, and then we had Super Punch Out on the Super Nintendo. It skipped the Nintendo 64, and it skipped the Nintendo GameCube, and then we got a Punch Out like a new Punch Out on the Wii, and it was really good. And that was back in 2009. And apparently, the reason that this franchise has been shelved is because of all of the stereotypes. All the characters are stereotypical characters from each region, and so that could never fly in today's PC world, where everybody gets offended. So we can't have a King Hippo, and we can't have a Soda Popinski from Poland. We
Give it
can't
3
have
more
that.
years, man. Give it 3 more
Yeah,
years.
yeah, maybe. But knowing Nintendo, they like to avoid controversy, so I think it's gonna take a long time before we see another Punch Out. But bring it back, man! What a great series.
They could bring it back. They just rename it, like make it like
Make new characters.
yeah, make new characters, and you could be like make a streamer character like a Jake Paul, Logan Paul type of dude. Um, what else is like over the top and crazy? You can make new characters if they
Yeah,
really.
make new characters if they really wanted to. I don't know if I don't know what the sales numbers were on that, but if it warrants the amount of money that it would take them, yeah. But yeah, Punch Out.
Okay. All right. So for me, next on my list I got is all right. So after the success of X-Men 97, 99, that really got me thinking like, bro, whatever happened to the Marvel Alliance games, right?
There was
And,
one on Switch.
and it was one on Switch.
Yeah, exclusively. Nintendo bought the rights.
Oh, okay. That's why I also put Slash the Marvel arcade games, like the side scroller beat 'em ups.
Okay. Yeah.
I think they should with the success of the TV show, you would think that they would tie in a side scroller
X-Men. Yeah.
or
Yeah.
or a type of Ultimate Alliance type game. Like
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man or Blade, it don't gotta be a fully that's right. It don't gotta be a fully fleshed out game like 3D first person. Give me a side scroller like the TMNT reboot, like
Yeah. Or the
something
Power Rangers game that came out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Double Dragon type of gameplay. Streets of Rage. Yeah, I'm with you. That'd be cool if they brought something like that back. If you do want to get nostalgic and get into that, you can buy the. I think they had the Capcom collection with those games in it. I'm not sure, but yeah, I like those games. They were great. Those X-Men games, those side-scrolling beat 'em ups back in the day. That'd be a fun throwback, and I know that it would sell well. You stick them in the digital storefront. It'd be really popular. A game that was now this is gonna be a controversial pick. Technically, the last game on this franchise came out in 2020. Technically, but it came out for the Oculus Rift and like the PC VR headsets. And so technically there was a brand new Medal of Honor in 2020. But for the rest of the planet that isn't playing in virtual reality or VR headsets, the last Medal of Honor came out in 2012. And that was Medal of Honor Warfighter. And Electronic Arts shifted towards Battlefield and left the Medal of Honor series behind, citing poor sales and that. Let's be real, everybody moved on to Call of Duty.
Yeah.
But with the latest controversies of Call of Duty kind of going over the top with these paywalls and these $90 skins for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that just came out, I think that this is a good time for Electronic Arts to bring out an arcadey first-person shooter. Let Battlefield be Battlefield.
Yeah.
And bring back Medal of Honor and make it Call of Duty. We don't need it to be that different. Copy paste. Just bring back Medal of Honor and make it like Call of Duty. I'd be on board.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Call of Duty was the Medal of Honor killer.
Yeah, and originally the developers of Medal of Honor were the guys who went on to develop Call of Duty. Which is the irony.
Yeah. All right, so this one a whole near and dear. And the reason why I'm gonna say it because it's dead. It's never going to happen. It's dead in the sense that it's never gonna happen. Sonic Mania 2.
Oh.
Please do whatever, like
specifically. So it's not necessarily the franchise is dead because we know it's not, but the specific style of Sonic.
Yes. Bring back Christian Whitehead. Pay him what you need to pay him. Give us a Sonic Mania series, part 2, part 3. Give us a trilogy. Do something, man. Like, don't get me wrong. The 2D Sonic that came out last year. It was good, but it's not Sonic Mania, man. That classic.
That was perfect. It was perfect.
Bring that back, man.
I bought that game. I didn't beat it, but I played the hell out of it. It was fun. Yeah, and it definitely it itched that, that special itch. It scratches that special itch if you're really into the 16-bit nostalgic Sonics. It was everything those games were.
Yeah, and
art style, gameplay. So
many times you could go back and rebuy Sonic 2, Sonic 3,
right?
Sonic and Knuckles. Like, no matter how many times they remaster them, like, yeah, that's cool. I played those games so many times, but like, when you remix it with Sonic, like how they did with Sonic Mania, like, it's
right. I think Sega and Nintendo both are just, because they're so very Japanese and they're so hard-headed and set in their ways, their pride gets in the way that they don't make the best Sonic games anymore. That it's a Western guy that makes the best Sonic games now. And it is what it is. Sonic Team has not made a really good, an outstanding Sonic game in forever. Sonic Team, they just don't do it anymore. I don't know what it is. When I see the Sonic Team label on a Sonic game, I almost always go, "Oh man, are they gonna fuck it up somehow? Something. They're gonna do something."
Yeah, man. It's just it just goes back to let's give the fans what they want. The fans if the fan is a Western dude and he's delivering, Like keep on delivering. The fans like it. I'm sure the game sold well. I'm sure it did numbers.
Yeah,
Let's do that, man.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
the Sonic Mania specifically. Yeah, that's a good pick. Controversial for anybody out there that's gonna say, "Well, you guys said franchises," but fuck it. Speaking of, because I mean, I added my virtual reality and asterisk with the remakes, right? Speaking of another asterisk, because this technically has an HD remake that came out. But Earthworm Jim, the classic 16-bit side-scrolling shoot 'em up. We don't need Earthworm Jim to be 3D. We don't need Earthworm Jim to be in 4K 120 frames per second. Give us a cool animated version in the Cuphead style of animations of Earthworm Jim.
Yeah.
Technically, there, but even if you want to get technical, the HD Earthworm Jim HD came out in 2010, which is still 14 years ago, 15 years ago. So long time ago, even for the remake. Before that, which was Earthworm Jim, I think 3D, that was like even before that. So yeah, Earthworm Jim, man, I love those games. They, you know, back when everybody had a mascot, but he really stood out. It was cool looking, cool graphics, great gameplay, cool music. I mean, yeah, you can go on and on. Bring Earthworm Jim back. Make it again. We don't need it to be anything fancy.
Yep.
Make it a digital download, 2D side scroller, and you've got and make it $30-$40 and you got my money.
I'm sure there's a fan culture out there that's already making those right now. Just reach out, put your ear to the ground, get out, talk to the people, send some emails, look for the ROMs.
I'm sure there's a lot of fan-made, a lot of fan-made games or even mods, but it'd be nice to see like an official release.
No, what I'm saying is for those companies to look out and go find them.
So I just looked up when the last Earthworm Jim in the series was. It was a Game Boy Color Earthworm Jim Menace to the Galaxy in 1999.
Oh yeah, I played that, and it wasn't a big deal.
I mean, yeah, and what a way to just, and then there's the HD remake. But again, what a way to kill a franchise, right?
Yeah.
Sad, but yeah, 1999, man, that was 26 years ago, man. That was a long time ago.
All right. Number one for me, or my number 5, this game helped me buy a GameCube.
Oh.
No, it wasn't Melee.
No.
No, it wasn't Smash Bros. It wasn't Mario Kart.
It wasn't Mario Kart.
It wasn't Mario Kart. It was
Super Mario Kart.
Beautiful Joe.
Who?
Beautiful Joe.
Beautiful Joe. What a great franchise. There was 2 of them and gone forever.
Yeah, I thought the concept, the art, I thought
great.
all it's cool as hell.
Yep.
Capcom.
Yep.
It was a win.
It was exclusive for like 2 years on the GameCube. Like you couldn't get it on anything else.
Yeah, I thought it was just exclusive. Period. That's a long time. 2 years.
It was originally going to be just GameCube only, but then GameCube kind of sold like shit. But it wasn't exclusive.
I thought it was only coming out on GameCube,
and for 2 years that was it. You wanted to play it, you had to have a GameCube.
Yeah, Beautiful Joe.
Great game. If you ever want to play a spiritual successor to that.
No,
and the reason I say spiritual successor, I don't know if you probably did hear this game. It's The Wonderful 101, and that is by the same developer, and he did it away from Capcom.
Yeah,
and it's absolutely excellent. And they just recently remade it for the Switch. Wonderful 101 is originally a Wii U game. It does have that cool art style and everything, but it's not Beautiful Joe.
No.
It's not Beautiful Joe. Now, a lot of people out there are probably screaming, "Where's Mega Man? How can you guys forget Mega Man, right?" And I'm going to give Mega Man my honorable mention because that's just for you folks at home. We looked up Mega Man sales figures in the last Capcom earnings, and the top-selling Mega Man game of all time was Mega Man 11 on the Wii, and that sold 2 million copies. That means all the greatest Mega Mans across PlayStation with 100 million systems out there. The NES, Super Nintendo, N64, Mega Man Legends, Mega Man X, Mega Man Battle Network on the Game Boy, all the spin-offs. The top-selling Mega Man game was Mega Man 11 on the Wii, and it only sold 2 million copies. Why would Capcom go back to that well, knowing we're probably maybe going to break even, possibly lose money making the game? I love Mega Man, but that's only my honorable mention for you folks at home. It's not my number one pick. Now, my number one pick, I've mentioned on the show multiple times. Give me 1 second here, because I spilled a little bit of this whiskey all over. What did you just say?
Oh, I call it happy juice when Alex is here.
Oh yeah, I spilled a little happy juice, a little peanut butter whiskey. So, and it tastes like peanut butter and it's delicious. My number one pick for those of you at home that have been grasping at your hearts, is Rayman.
Oh yeah, I forgot about. Yeah. So I'm gonna let you get your. Go ahead and cook, bro.
Yeah, Rayman. So Rayman, the last official entry in the series was Rayman Legends, and everybody's probably because they've ported Rayman Legends to everything under the freaking sun, will be like, oh well, then Rayman's not dead. It's on everything. Well, that game came out on the Wii U as a launch game in 2012. So yeah, you've been playing Rayman Legends for over 14 or 12 to 14 years at this point. 12 years, right? So yeah, can we get a new Rayman game for the Switch 2 launch? By the way, Ubisoft, you really need a hit right now. You really need a hit right now. And what other game franchise is universally loved? You can probably sell 5 million copies of the game. Probably not going to be a crazy budget like Assassin's Creed, and you're not gonna piss off too many people because there's not many woke things you can do to Rayman.
Yeah. I'm gonna jump in on kicking Ubisoft's back in.
Yeah,
because I remember when that Rayman game specifically had came out, and I didn't buy it, but I remember on the PSN network, PS Plus or whatever it was free to download.
Oh yeah.
And I downloaded it, and I played the first couple levels.
Yep.
And I was like, "Oh, this is actually fun.
It's really good."
And then, like, the first original Spider-Man since PlayStation got the rights or whatever, it came out, and
it took away your attention.
Yeah. But it was good. What I played, it was fun.
Yeah.
The style, the coloring. I think that was like all hand drawn, right? Like it was
all pixel art. They killed their own game. At the same time, with that said, Ubisoft, don't think just because that game didn't perform, that was you messing it up. It wasn't the fans. It really wasn't. Know your audience. Rayman belongs on the Nintendo platforms. That's where you're going to get most of your audience on a 2D platformer in the style of Rayman. We like that stuff on Nintendo. We just do. But needless to say, we are at the end of our list. Do you have an honorable mention?
I do not.
All right. Well, we got through it. Let us know in the comments what you guys think. Did we leave off the list? What franchises do you want to see?
Oh, yeah, I got one.
Okay.
Diddy Kong Racing.
Okay, so that's probably never gonna happen because Nintendo has Mario Kart. So yeah, they're not gonna fragment. But yeah, I love Diddy Kong Racing. I can see that. Yeah, honorable mention goes to Diddy Kong Racing. It was great. Mario Kart kind of technically fills those shoes now with the flying underneath the water and all that stuff. But you're right, I do miss that franchise. It was great at the time. Yeah, but anyways, let us know in the comments any honorable mentions or any franchises you want to add to the list. Let us know below. Which list did you like more? Do you like Chris? Do you like mine's? So always want to thank you guys for joining us. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.
Deuces.